Jesus, I look like a fucking hobo. Hello, idiot number 678 here with another extremely low effort YouTube video. Either way, I'm a little pissed. There's two things. One of them I'm going to discuss today. First thing, I didn't really do anything today. I just sat on my ass until literally until 7. I did no schoolwork at all. I did no extra history research. So more or less, I'm gonna sit my fucking ass down. I'm gonna try more or less do some work. So I'm a little pissed about that. But then I'm also just like, but then also at the same time, you can just work your fucking ass off tomorrow or some shit like that. And well, yes, I'm also considering just like, okay, why not? So for some reason, I've just like gone on a trip of, I've just like cut coffee, a little bit. Because like it's a little bit nicer on the sleeping side, it's a little bit nicer and just not having a crash in general. But tomorrow I might upstart it again just to work my fucking ass off for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and also a little bit of Tuesday, and I could just like sleep on the trip or some shit, or like do some shit, because I am actually going to Hamburg, so I think those videos that I made a little bit before summer ended would help, like keeping shit in the fields or some shit. Either that I could just make like extremely low effort, just like hi, for like multiple days. Since I don't think I'll have this privacy again for like from Tuesday to Sunday, so it's like 6 days. But more or less, yeah, that's the thing. But at the end of the day, I haven't done any work, but I think tomorrow I'm just gonna like dosage coffee down me throat, and I'll work my fucking ass off more or less with extreme heightened energy to type and fucking do shit. More or less. Second shit I'm pissed off is
It's 1930.
Yes, thank you, computer. Is my younger cousin said that education is important for life. Now I immediately want to argue with her, not only because she's like a 12-year-old and I totally want to fucking destroy her in every argument. Yes, I am petty like that. Surprise, surprise. I am a soul winner. But in a sense, I always like to educate people. I always like doing that, but at the same time, I need to fucking keep my ego in check because I'm stupid. That's the thing. It's like the such a Danny Kruger effect. What it is that the less knowledge you have, the more confidence you have, in a sense. So it looks like a graph like this. This is the knowledge axis, and this is the confidence axis. And as you gain a tiny bit more knowledge, your confidence go way the fuck up. Like way up. At some point it peaks. It starts peaking. And as you learn more and more and more, your confidence starts dipping. So it gets to a really low point. At this point you have quite a bit of knowledge, but not that much confidence. Because like you've learned a lot and you learn like, oh, there are people smarter than me. At some point again, as you start learning more, it goes back up again. This is the point where you want to be. Where you have a shitload of knowledge, but you also have a lot of confidence because you have a shitload of knowledge. But that's the Danny Kruger effect in a sense, is that as you have more knowledge, not all the way, but it in a sense basically say the less knowledge you have, the more confident you are, more or less. But that's not completely true to say it like that. It's more like as you gain a tiny bit of knowledge, you feel way more confident in it. You can see this with a lot of people. But I mean, yeah, that's it. But basically, she said that school is important for life. And I immediately want to argue with her, is simply fucking because to her she makes it seem as if school is a necessity in life, even though it's not. If it's such a fucking necessity, you wouldn't complain about it. Do you complain about the fucking water that you get when you're fucking thirsty as hell and you're gonna die from it? Do you complain about the fucking air that you breathe? That's pretty fucking necessary. Do you complain about the food that you have when you're goddamn really hungry? I don't know about you, but when people get really goddamn hungry, even if they hate greens, they're gonna fucking eat it. And it will taste delicious to them. They wouldn't throw up some shit. Because very people have so much determination that they would literally starve themselves to death than eat some shitty food. There's very tiny portion of the population that does that. Do you fucking hold in your piss for a really long time because it's a necessity when you need to piss? No, you fucking won't. You would like when you need to piss enough, you tell if it's on a road trip or something, it's just like stop on the fucking side of the road. I don't care if the police pulls me over, I'm gonna take a piss. But pissing is one thing. It could be like shitting as well. You know, if you really need to go, the second, you're gonna do it. No one's gonna stop you. Okay? You're just gonna be like, no, I need to go. It's either it's in this pants or it's out there somewhere. Choose your goddamn poison. I am going. My sphincter will not tighten up anymore. It's at its limit. Hell no. But yet, she complains about school. Like the bitch that she is. Yes, I am pissed. But it's just, if it's so fucking important to life, then why do you complain about it? Then why? Is it if it's like such a massive necessity, as she says, it's lebenswichtig is the fucking shit that she said. So important to life, huh? So fucking important to life. Yes, I do not deny that an education is very, very good for you and it's important to life. Her point. Then why do you, 1, forget everything that you afterwards, that after you have a test? 2, complain about homework. 3, complaining about using Google to research extra shit. 4, complain that you get a low-ass score on a test. If it's so important, isn't it part of the learning process then, huh? I don't get it. It's just people saying that, oh, school sucks ass, but at the same time, I have to do it. I have to do it, which is a word that I hate. I need to make a video on why I hate the word I have to. What the fuck are you under? A dictatorial system? An authoritarian system that dictates whatever you have to do in your every goddamn day life? Do you not have a choice at all? I hate that word so much. I have to. Yes, I'm making fun of people who have to say, I have to. Change up your vocabulary. Make it something that as if you actually have a choice to do it. Make it seem a little bit more important if it's so much like that. Say, I need to wake up. Make it seem as if it's a necessity. It's not just like, oh, I have to. Someone's forcing the shit down your throat. Someone's just like forcing, just like, no. You gotta wake up at 7:30 on the dot. If you don't, some shit happens. I don't fucking know. Makes me so pissed. Yes, I do believe schooling and all the other shit is extremely important. It is. It is truly important. However, you can still learn a lot without school. You can. There is so much you can learn without school. There is so goddamn much. What is the internet for? What are YouTube videos, educational YouTube videos for? You can learn so much. You really, really can. No joke. If, say, you live in a little bit more tight-knit community, and everyone has like a bunch of knowledge and shit, no joke, you don't even need school. You can just talk to them all day long and like hear all about their ideas, their shit, and all the other things that they have gotten over life. Those things would be amazing for you. School, in my opinion, is only important up to a certain point. In my opinion, very much in my opinion. It's like there should be like a massive gap between school and university, in my opinion. Right? Is that at like, say, I don't know, in my opinion, like at the 7th grade or something, you should have quite a bit of basis to like learn on your own on a bunch of much other shit, and then you can just go to university and other shit like that. In my opinion, very much in my opinion. Because it's just like, there are shit that you can very much learn on your own. If school was made a lot more accessible in a sense, you can do that. Like say, the IGCSE program and the IB program. IGCSE does not need to be 5 years long. But IB, why is it only 2 years long? Do you get this shit? It's basically the IB program is like IGCSE, but on drugs, right? It is so much more content. It is so much more condensed. It is so much shit. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is just the one of the IB history book, right? For the high level. I don't take history high level. I borrowed this from someone. I'm gonna read through it. This has a fuckload of info from it. A shite ton. And then you're telling me you need like 3 more of these books. They are so thick. They are massive. Like you put so much more content into it, and yet you condense it down to 2 measly years. Yet IGCSE, you extend it over like a period of 5 years. That is stupid. That is so fucking stupid. Like, no joke. At Akadas, from a lot of people told me, because I joined in a lot more later, was that they were just repeating content at some point. They were just repeating the same shit over and over and over and over again. And it was so boring to them. So my question is that, is school really that important? Yes, by all means, I am talking from an extremely privileged perspective. I do not deny that one bit. I do very much still think school is extremely important. However, for the people in a lot more developed countries who has enough privilege to shit on school, why should we keep that? Why? Why should we just say, no, I'm going to school because it's a necessity, it's important to life, we won't fucking change anything. Why? Isn't that the point of education? Is for you to change something, not just sit there like goddamn gooses and ducks looking at the goddamn sky being like, God praise me, I hope the system changes magically. Isn't that the fucking point? You are educated, you are given all these information to do something with it. Not just sit there with a bunch of pile of info and just being like, yeah, so you want info, I can give it to you. Like, no, even that is doing something with that info. It's like having a massive pile of info and just sitting there all day like this. And do nothing with it. The fuck's the point then? I'm just saying, like, yes, of course it's important. I do not deny one bit the fact that school is important. But yet, anyone who says that school is important, most of the time shit on it. So if it's so important to you, if it's so endearing to you, why not do something about it? I hear my younger cousin complain about teachers every day, and I have the time genuinely think to myself, why not argue back with the teacher? If you think they're wrong, why not argue with them? It is so bullshit for you not to argue with the teacher if you think they are genuinely wrong. You can sit down, have a nice cup of tea with them, and have a civil conversation about why they're fucking wrong. You can't do that, huh? You can't do that? You can type an email. You can type up a fucking email. The teacher has an email. Type it up to them. Ask them, why is this like this? Why is it like that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? Like, me being in the IB system, I can't complain to the teacher. Due to the fact that they're just following the system because they have, like, instant subscribed to this thing. I can't complain to them. I cannot. I have to complain directly to the stupid IB headquarters somewhere in England or some shit. Right? But if it's a more local school, why not complain directly to the teachers? If they say, oh, it's just the system, blah, 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 then you're just like, okay. Then let me ask you 2 questions. 1, even if it is under the system, there are different ways to approach this. You don't just need to say out the content. It's not like, say, I don't fucking know you. Give me a sec. This will be worth it. It'll be really worth it. There we go. I got it. It's like, you don't have to look at all these contents, right? And then have to go them in order. 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't. You fucking don't. Because at the end of the day, literally, if the system only gave a shit about, okay, have you completed it or not, then cool. Then you can jump around, be sporadic, actually do the shit that interests people. And like 2, 3, 4, 5. There are different ways to approach it. Tell your teacher that if they don't fucking agree to change, because they're stubborn asses, then ask them, okay, which motherfucker can I complain to? Boom! Have you learned nothing from that, huh? And did school taught you that? No. No. That's the thing. I'm basically saying, it's like, there's this group of people that says school teaches nothing. Which then I call, well, that's bullshit. School do teach you something. And then there's the other group that basically, school actually teaches you a lot, but I still shit on school. Well, both of you are fuckers, aren't you? Because it's just like, on the one side that says school is really important, but I still shit on it, you're basically saying there is a problem with the damn thing that I'm not really liking it, but yet I'm just gonna sit in there because somehow that's the best way to do things. That's the best way to do things. Yes, education is so important. I'm not gonna use fucking, like, fuck all. I'm gonna use nada. What's revolution again? Do we learn about that in school? No? Heck yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then the group that says school teaches you nothing. So you're the commenter that makes all the wrong grammar mistakes and doesn't read through the original source material because you're just too lazy to read, I guess. I'm basically saying, no, every time you think of something, really think to yourself. Just like, try to argue with yourself. Quite literally, try to argue with yourself. See what works and what doesn't. Because, simply put, surprise, surprise, the word is not black and white. We love to believe this. We love to say it's black and white. People could easily say, if I put up Saddam Hussein and Barack Obama, if I have to tell you to categorize them as people, you'd say bad person, good person, or even leaning in somewhat of that direction. When you say, I have insomnia, people would immediately think, oh, you have zero sleep at all, you sleep only 2 hours, you sleep only 1 hour or something. Even though you could say, I have insomnia, but I slept like a pretty solid 5 hours last night or something. People like to exaggerate, people like to think the worst of the worst. That's the thing at the end of the day, you know? And like when you say, oh, I'm pretty good at math, they immediately think, okay, solve this massively, extremely complex equation. You're like, fucking course I'm not that good. So it's just, it's basically that people assume the extreme. I would say it's part of human nature, in a sense, because it's this image that's brought up into your mind. It's very quick, it's very immediate. The extremes are the easy path, you could say, because it's just like, oh, there's a wall, there's a visible wall that you hit. There's a limit, and you want to grasp onto that limit because it makes sense of everything. Rather than being in the middle of fucking nowhere and just being like, yeah, so I'm kind of like leaning on this side and this side. There's too much room to lean on. Humans like limits. Humans like touching on things, having things to have orders and shit. That's a point. Yeah, so I'm just fucking pissed. I'm just fucking pissed. Then I don't know. Send this to anyone who tells you that, oh, school is important or some shit. Tell them, do you really think that? Do you really fucking think that? Huh? If school's so fucking important to you, then why the fuck does half the time you do nothing about it and you complain about it? Huh? I used to hate school. I do not deny that one bit. I used to hate school. I used to hate school so much that I would wake up with a banging headache, not wanting to go to school. I hated school. I hated every moment of it. And the moment I moved to Germany, I realized, hey, you don't have to be such a goddamn dick. School is pretty cool. School is pretty fun. You can learn shit from this. And that's when I started liking education. That's when I started liking school. Because it's like, yo, you can learn something from this. Of course there are shit that you can 100% complain about. I do not deny that. but at least try to change it, at least try to challenge it, not just be sitting gooses and ducks and saying nothing about it. I can complain to the IB head about some shit that I don't like, but I'm okay with a lot of it. I know some of my classmates definitely have problems with the IB. That's awesome. They should complain to the IB head, being a stupid fucking organization saying they're non-profit, but at the same time, they are for profit. So stupid. But what I'm basically saying is that I advocate for one thing. You know, I think in my entire life I should advocate for one thing. Learn, more or less. Just, you could definitely call me an idiot. You could definitely call a bunch of other people an idiot. But if someday someone more genius than you comes along and disproves you on a bunch of other shit, don't be a sole loser. Learn. You know, you can always learn. That's another big thing. Learning is a lifelong process. A bunch of people will preach this, yet they condense practically learning into all your years of school, and that's it. School, in my opinion, should be longer. It should be. We should reduce some years, and we should extend some years. University is like, you know, like a bunch of, it's like the hardest shit of all time, right? You're learning so much, you're genuinely going through life and a bunch of other shit like that. Like that's like, at the end of the day, that's what university really tries to do. They try to connect you with real life. Why don't we have this in elementary school? Why don't we have this in middle school, perhaps? People saying, oh yeah, you know, taxes and shit. No. In my opinion, school shouldn't teach that. You should learn that on your own. No joke. You should learn that on your own. Fuck off. School doesn't need to tell you how to pay your taxes. But if it's government funded and other shit, yes, in my opinion, yeah. Gets the government more money, why not? School should tell you how to pay your taxes. But if it's not, who cares? You should learn that on your own. Other than that, what I'm basically saying is that if you hate something about school, complain. It is part of the learning curve, it's part of the learning spiel. It's part of you becoming bigger brain. So, learn, more or less. Learn. Just sit down. Going through social media is learning. I'll tell you that. 100%. Reading articles, even if it's shit one, even if it's extremely biased one, even if it's one that is more caring more about drama and actual factual report, that's still learning. It is part of learning. You have to trip and fall before you can stand up and run, more or less. You can't just be on your feet all the time. You sometimes gotta fall. And that is fine. I think we should that should be one of the lessons that school teaches us. It's okay to fail. People fail all the time. We keep preaching this shit of just like, oh, the masters have failed more time than the beginners have even tried. Yes, we should preach this shit to kids. It is okay to fail. In a competition, if you ranked last, you don't have to be a fucking sore loser. If you ranked first, you don't have to be a sore winner shoving it in everyone's face. You don't. Like, even adults don't get this shit a lot of the time. So it's just, wow, if I got a bad score on a test, surprise, surprise, I can try next time. I think we need to give people this understanding, is that there's always a next time, and even if there isn't a next time, you still have a choice to do shit. You're not just out of option. Boom, kaboom, blang. I'm out of option. My life is in ruins. I'm gonna become a janitor. Which is so bullshit. Some people says like, oh, companies are gonna really look into your records or some shit like that after you when you want to get hired by them. But when you really think about it, perhaps not. Like, at the end of the day, the shit they care about most isn't, oh, what's your score in school? What's your score in school? Let's look through your score in school. They probably half of them would look at that and say, this does not reflect your image at all. We like no. This we could see that, oh, this motherfucker's pretty intelligent. This guy passed this and that and probably do some shit. If you actually show them that you have skills, even if your scores are low in school, they're probably gonna hire you. They're humans. They're not like a bunch of fucking robots that can just like look through your entire past life or some shit. The important is the shit that comes through your mouth, the shit that you think are pure, and the things that you actually demonstrate that you can do. They say you fail a bunch of subjects in school and shit like that. You can probably still get a pretty good paying office job, desk job, if you know how to use a bunch of programs, knowing how, like say, I don't know, Windows, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all this shit like that. And you actually are able to make a lot of connections and a lot of ideas that is good. The school teach you how to do that? Coming up with good fucking ideas? I'll tell you this. No, those shit you have to learn on your own. Because school can't, they can try to. But it's just, reconsider your stance point on school, in my opinion. Schooling is important. I do not deny that. But when you also say, oh yeah, no, it's really important, but you shit on it half the damn time, but you don't fucking do anything about it, is school really important to you? If something is really important to you, and it really strikes deep in your heart, and there's something you don't like about it, wouldn't you try to change it? Just a thought. Other than that, I want to actually do some work. By work, I mean I'll watch through some history video first just to get a little bit motivated. And then I'll do history. These videos, in my opinion, are fun to make because it's just me, camera, and just ranting on for like 30 minutes. Other than that, goodbye. No one's gonna watch this.